A very good afternoon from Trent Bridge. James Carr here bringing you live commentary of the Blaze versus Durham women. We've had a slight delay here due to the rain overnight and a little bit persistent this morning, but the ground staff, I'm pleased to say, have cleared up and the sun has come out. It's the brightest it's been all morning and now into the afternoon, so we've got some cricket for you on this Pride Day here at Nottinghamshire County Cricket Club. The umpires are on their way and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Sam Dallin. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, James. I'm delighted to be here. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm really pleased to see that the Blaze women are jogging out now to set the field, and they'll soon be joined by the Durham batters, who are just stretching, limbering up and skipping through that guard of honour. Fireworks, pride flags, mascots, and it's we didn't think it was going to happen, did we? But we've got some cricket about to get underway. Let's go through the teams, but before we do that, Sam, talk us through the playing regulations with this slight delay.
Well, we're down to 15 overs aside. We had half an hour's grace, so we didn't start losing any time until 11:30. So 15 overs, 75% of a full T20. So 3 lots of 5 for the bowlers, 5 bowlers, 3 overs each, and the power play, just to confuse us all, is going to be 4.3 over, James. So we have to remember, midway through the 5th over, we'll see that signal from the umpires and the power play will be done.
Awesome. Clear as mud. So I'll run through the Blaze 11 first, completely unchanged. So it's Marie Kelly, Georgia Elwys, Catherine Bryce, Sarah Bryce, Heather Graham, the Australian overseas, Ella Claridge, Sarah Glenn, Kirsty Gordon, Cassidy McCarthy and Grace Ballinger. Oh, sorry, that was 10. And Michaela Kirk is the 11th player. We think she'll slot in at number 7. So that's not quite in batting order. Josie Groves and Lucy Hyam, we think, will be running the drinks. We'll run through that Durham 11 shortly, but facing up, it's Susie Bates, the Kiwi international, and Emma Marlowe is the non-striker at the other end, joining her at the crease. And it's going to be Cassidy McCarthy to open the bowling from the Stuart Broad end. And Sam Dallin, take it away.
Ooh, little forearm jab there from Susie Bates. Has a look at the pitch. Just missed off stump. Well, that would have been quite a start for the Blaze, given, well, A, the quality of Susie Bates, one of the best women's players ever. I think it's fair to say that, isn't it? More than 10,000 international runs across the formats for New Zealand. Has been in Durham and been in productive form for Durham this season as well. Good start from Cassidy McCarthy. Yeah, Durham also unchanged. They had a victory, a relatively rare victory. All victories have been a little bit harder to come by them for the Blaze this season, but they beat Somerset up at Chesterley Street on Friday, so they're unchanged. Susie Bates and Emma Marlowe out there in the middle. The skipper, Holly Armitage, Maddie Villiers, Emily Windsor back from injury. Gives herself some room, Bates. Good work from McCarthy. Just follows her. 3 dot balls to start. Remember, the power play just 4.3 overs. Mia Rogers will keep wicket. Leah Dobson, Phoebe Turner and Grace Thompson, Sophia Turner and Katie Levick complete the lineup. I'm looking at the squad. I'm not sure that'll be the batting lineup.
No, they might have to change it up a little bit as well, with it being a shorter game. So we might see a bit of creativity. We might see Bess Heath a bit earlier, perhaps.
Gives herself some room, Susie Bates. Couple of fielders allowed outside that 25-yard circle. She comes back for a couple, does she? Yeah, just about gets in. Good running, good cricket all round. Michaela Kirk, I think, is down at deep backward point. She scrambled around to third, got the throw in. Sarah Bryce broke the stumps and then had the wherewithal to throw it at the non-striker's end. Emma Marlowe managed to scramble back. So first runs of the day. It's a long way of me saying that.
Yeah, not easy to throw in from that distance perfectly over the stumps, but it would have been very close had it been a bit tight to the stumps, that throw. Old Sue's treading a bit of water there. It's a bit difficult, isn't it, when you've planned for an 11 o'clock start and then you have to relax and just chill out because there's a delay. So Bates just looking a bit scratchy and a bit stiff so far.
That's well bowled. She again gave herself some room, gave herself the charge. Cassidy McCarthy just hung it a little bit wider, a little bit fuller, and Susie Bates couldn't reach it inside that blue line. She's been in good nick, as I said, couple of half centuries in this tournament, couple of as well. But who spent the winter actually playing alongside, I think, Susie Bates over in Wellington in the New Zealand T20 competition. I think they got all the way to the final and lost. Anyway, that's by the by. End of the first over. Just 2 runs from it. Durham are 2 without loss.
Yeah, that's right. Kirsty Gordon played for the Otago Sparks. Under
Craig.
Under Craig, head coach Craig, now of the Blaze, formerly of the Otago Sparks. He was an Otago Volt himself. And a black cap.
Decent CV, that's right. They lost to Wellington in the final.
That's right, yeah. A low-scoring affair at the Basin Reserve. So, talking of Kirsty Gordon, she's going to open the bowling from the Radcliffe Road end. We've seen her opt for spin in the power play at various times in this campaign, most recently at Chesterfield on Friday. Here she is, around the wicket. And she's on the money. Marlowe will just pump it up the ground for 1. Long on's been sent out from the beginning. Marie Kelly, all too familiar to us, stationed out at long on. So Marlowe off the mark first ball. Gordon will be looking to minimise boundaries here, pull as many dots as possible, and get out of this power play with a few scalps as well. Bit of a shuffle from Bates there and powers that through the leg side, but Kelly will cut it off. They're coming back for a second and it's very well ran actually. So 2 more to the Durham score. Bates has been very proactive here, hasn't she? I've never seen her be that shuffly and move both up and down the crease and use the width of the crease. And she's down the track this time. Doesn't get all of it. It's going to bounce once, twice in front of Marie Kelly, who's in a very hot zone there, isn't she, at long on.
That's where you put your key fielders in T20 cricket, isn't it? Also your taller fielders, because there tends to be a lot of catches taken at long. And I think Susie Bates is quite glad she didn't get hold of that, because I think had she, it might have gone straight to Marie Kelly.
Dabbed away this time, gets it well behind point, and there'll be a chase on here from Glenn, but it's in vain. It's going to...
This shot, we've seen Susie Bates, and she said proactive, using her feet, trying to give herself some room to the seamers. Emma Marlowe just waited on that one, played it as late as possible, and it was all about timing and placement.
Down the ground, hit with some vigour there, Marlowe, punishing that one. Just the one though. I think Marie Kelly's touched the ball 4 times in this over out of the 5 balls bowled. Bates back on strike then. She's 5 from 8. Marlowe 6 from 3. They won't mind the contrasting strike rates. Rocks back on this one, Bates into the leg side. Catherine Bryce will do the fielding this time. Another pivotal fielder in a pivotal position. So that concludes the second. Durham 12 without loss. Bates moves on to 6. Marlowe also on 6.
Yeah, a more productive over from a Durham perspective. They'll feel a little bit better about life. I suspect they made the trip down yesterday. Durham stayed overnight. I mean, it must be difficult for a player, as you said, when you've got that 11 a.m. start time penciled in, so you're gearing towards that. But in some ways, at least it was raining early. At least it was pretty obvious to everyone. Right, I turned up about 9:30, 9:45. We knew we weren't going to start at 11 o'clock, so at least you had that time to adapt to it. Change of bowling, just a 1 over from Cassidy McCarthy from the Stuart Broad end. First up, it's going to be, I think, for the first time today with ball in hand, Grace Ballinger replacing her. Bit of left arm seam, just setting their field to Susie Bates. She's got 6 from 9. There's a deep square leg and a deep mid wicket. 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. One of them is going to be straight into action. It's Catherine Bryce, who scurries around. I think she'll keep that to just a single. Good work from her. She's very quick. A lot of ground to cover out there on the leg side. Bates moves on to 7. Slight change of field for Emma Marlowe. I think Michaela Kirk is sent out from the ring on the offside to a deep cover position and deep mid wicket. Catherine Bryce comes up in the circle, so still a deep square leg. Fielder out on each side. Driven by Marlowe. It's a good stop. That cover by Georgia Elwes. Almost tips it around the post though. Keeps it to just the one. She's right on a... It's awkward on a used pit. If you're diving around on that one, you see that at the end of the season. Ring fielders, look at their elbows and their knees, and they tend to be fairly heavily grazed. She's just struggling to get it away a little bit, Susie Bates, isn't she? Uncharacteristic.
Yeah, she's just losing it. She's just practiced the shot there. She's just losing her front shoulder and her bottom hand is taking over. The other thing to mention there, Georgia Earle was fumbling that one at extra cover, but she actually saved 3. She'll be disappointed about conceding the run, but because of the dimensions of the ground there, it's 4 if you get it through.
Again, gives herself some room, hits it straight to long mid-on though, up in the circle, and Durham have lost their first wicket. I think it's Marie Kelly taking the catch. Sunglasses on her head, not sunny enough for that, but safe hands from Marie Kelly. She isn't going to drop those. The changes work. Grace Ballinger has picked up her first wicket, picked up the Blazes' first wicket. Susie Bates has to go for 7 of 12 balls, and Durham are 14 for 1.
Yeah, great scout for the Blaze. Susie didn't look particularly comfortable there, staying very leg side of the ball, kind of trying to take the ball to the leg side with that bottom hand instead of looking to just hold a strong shape and hit with a vertical bat through the offside. Definitely get more value for runs in this power play hitting up the ground and through the offside, especially when you're batting at the Radcliffe Road end, because of the dimensions of the ground in front of the PKF Smith Cooper stand. It kind of cuts off, doesn't it? Almost very straight and cuts off a corner of the ground. So if you get it through extra cover, it races away. So when you're this side of the square, it's a really odd dimension to kind of cover with a fine leg or a deep backward square leg, sometimes both. So batters will certainly be looking to target that area up towards the scoreboard and up towards the PKF Smith Cooper stand.
New batter is Maddie Villiers. She was also a new signing over the winter, moving northeast. Hits it straight at Georgia Elwes. Just watch it. She's fielding just behind that U square I was talking about a second or two ago. Yeah, she's been productive. Been a brilliant acquisition so far, Maddie Villiers. 205 runs in this competition. Fine all-round cricketer. One of the more senior players in a relatively young Durham side. A talented but youthful Durham side. Coached by Danny Hazel. Bold Yorker, can't get it away. Brilliant over from Grace Ballinger. Anything Cassidy McCarthy can do from that Stuart Broad end, Grace Ballinger can do just as well, if not better, because she has picked up a huge wicket. Durham are 14 for 1.
Yeah, interesting start from firstly Bates, and then just a couple of balls we've seen from Maddie Villiers, just trying to overhit the ball ever so slightly. Emma Marlowe's just looked to wait for the ball a little bit longer, has played a couple of shots up the ground with a vertical bat with quite serious power, only going for 1, but real meaningful shots. And then has waited well for that cut shot and played it well behind point and got it through to the boundary. So contrasting styles and tacks from the batters of Durham so far. Cassidy McCarthy is back on. She's right arm over the wicket to Emma Marlowe, who's pushed back in a crease this time as McCarthy hits a length. She was a bit mixed on Friday, was Cassidy McCarthy. Bowled 2 lengths, was hit both up the ground when she went a bit full, and then kind of over-adjusted and banged it in and was hit square of the wicket. So she'll be looking to fight back today with a better return. She offers a slight bit of width there, but that zip off the pitch, and Emma Marlowe misses out on the cut shot there. I am a fan of Cassidy McCarthy, actually. She's something we're starting to see a bit more of in the women's game. Robust bowlers that hit the surface. She swings the ball both ways as well, but keeps batters on their toes by being able to bang it into the pitch. She's into the surface this time, and Emma Marlowe is quick to pick up on the pull, but can't quite connect.
It was a good line there, though. Just looked like it cramped her for room.
It did indeed.
Followed her. That's exactly where you want it if you're the bowler. Tough start this for Durham. Tricky. Not the power play so far they'd have wanted.
Wider and fuller this time from McCarthy, and Marlowe stretching out for that and misses out on what could have been a nice square drive. They have got a deep backward point out, which is probably a symptom of the fact McCarthy does bang the ball in.
She's bowled 10 balls so far in this T20 game, and they've scored runs off just one of them.
Deep backward points coming in now. Deep mid wickets going out, so Catherine Bryce is going out to that, just on the edge of those practice wickets. She's about 10 yards off the boundary, and we've got a deep square leg out there as well. Kirsty Gordon is moving herself from mid off to mid wicket, so that
no mid off.
The bowling without a mid off here. Banged in. Oh, I thought it was going to carry to the skipper there at mid wicket. So it's slightly telegraphed that. Hurried up Emma Marlowe there, who didn't connect again on that pull shot.
Well, they'd have done their research, the analysts. Maybe it was a plan. Marlowe knew she was uncomfortable against the shorter ball. She's shown she can drive, that one that didn't get past Georgia Elwes, but that was, yeah, more than a little bit telegraphed. Basically told her.
Fuller outside off stump this time, well fielded as it's pushed up to mid off for no run. So really good return from her 2 overs so far for Cassidy McCarthy. She's gone for just 3 runs in 2 overs, and she's bowled 10 dots, Sam. They're a huge KPI I'm sure Craig Cumming and his team will focus on from a bowling point of view. Durham women 15 for 1.
Yeah, well, if you're just joining us, Sam Dalling alongside James Carr here for this game, a Vitality Blast between the Blaze and Durham. We had a little bit of rain earlier. Actually, having said it brightened up for the start. The grey clouds are back, but at the moment we're working on a 15 overs a side basis. So what's that? 90 balls, and Cassidy McCarthy has already bowled 10 dots. I can't quite do the maths quickly enough in my head, but over 10% of the innings already. Grace Ballinger to continue. She's picked up the only wicket to fall in the game so far. Marlowe, with an open stance actually, she planted that front leg outside leg stump, just opens it up, tries to run it past third, can't get it past third. It's raining again. I'd love to say it was spitting, but it's actually raining quite heavily. They might give it a minute or two just to see if it's a passing shower, but otherwise I'm not sure they'll be out there that much longer. Not quite the height of summer. There we go. Didn't even get another ball. Slightly strange to allow Grace Ballinger to get back to the end of her run-up and start her run-up before calling that one off, but it's no surprise to anyone. So 4.1 overs in to this Durham innings, and they've reached 16 for 1, and we are off for rain, James.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those frustrating days, isn't it? Like you say, it's just come a bit gloomy. The wind's dropped, nothing to blow that weather away. Ground staff had convened around the hover cover, almost putting a bit of pressure on the umpires to perhaps get off. And Maddie Villiers, one of the more senior players in this Durham side, was quite clever when she pulled away there, just to say, oh, getting a bit of rain inside my helmet, inside my grill.
Well,
from a Durham point of view, with the start they've had, it's never ideal that the overs get reduced either, but at least DLS will kind of apply that multiplier to the target when the Blaze get a chance to bat, if they get a chance to bat.
Well, it will now, yes. It wouldn't have at the start, but remember, if you're just joining us, we've lost all our contingency time straight away here, and you're right about Villiers. The thing you want to do is to stand there, nick one behind, and then straight away the umpires go, right, that's it, we're going off. I think we're going to take a quick break, James, and we will come back as soon as there is anything to update you all on. Hopefully that will be very shortly, but the main hover cover is out there on the middle, as you can see, and it is raining quite heavily right now.
Hello everybody, you join us at Trent Bridge. You can see the pictures there, the covers are still on, ground staff working hard to mop up, but it is with regret to inform you that the game has been abandoned after just the 4.1 overs. So Durham finish on 16 for 1, and there's going to be no further play in this game. So we shall see you next week for the visit of Surrey here at Trent Bridge on Friday the 11th. Until then, we'll see you very soon.